saw what was happening, that they were running out of food, and as the last 4 or 5 bowls were handed out, those children who received the bowls didn't just sit down on the floor and start eating like the others had. They scattered themselves out around the back of the room and sat down and pushed the bowl out in front of them and invited others to sit down around them, and then passed spoons around so that everybody had a spoon, and then when they all had spoons, they started eating. No adult guided that behavior. They just did that spontaneously. And that was such a moving thing. And soon, all of the children had had a few bites of something to eat, and they were soon laughing and smiling and playing again and singing songs and moving on like nothing had been wrong at all. And as I stood there, it occurred to me that very early on when we were talking about this project, that Blake said, you know, if we're going to get into the business of helping poor people, we're going to have to be very careful that we not abuse our distributors. We're not going to encourage them to make contributions by showing them horrible pictures of starving children and desperate mothers and fathers standing watching their children die. That's manipulation, and it wouldn't be right. If we can't do this because people want to do good, because they sense that it's the right thing to do, because we've encouraged them to be generous, just to be generous, then we've got no business doing this at all. And so from the outset, he's insisted that we're not going to manipulate people with the images of pain and suffering, but rather that we should find ways to motivate each other, because what we will be doing will be bringing happiness to people. And as I looked around that room and saw these smiling, laughing children, I thought, you know, Blake was right. And even in the middle of all this, there are more smiles than tears. The only tears that were in that room were the tears of our distributors, who were feeling the empathy for these children. But the children were fine. They'd been here before. They had seen the food run out, and they'd had to care for each other before, and they knew what to do. And they were simply going about business as usual. They were making the best of things. And so it occurred to me that even in this most difficult place, there were more smiles than tears. Well, later that day, we distributed a truck full of Vitameal as they finally came to the parents of this village. And those mothers that I had seen running through the countryside were now celebrating and returning home with enough food to keep their families healthy for a while. And so with that experience, I came away with some phrases passing through my head. My son Ryan is a real musician. One night he was in the kitchen playing his guitar, and he was playing this beautiful little guitar riff, and as I was listening to these chords, this chord progression, these words started coming to my head, and so I sort of memorized what he was doing, went back to my office and played with it for a couple of weeks, and then had the courage to play this song for my wife. And she didn't throw things at me, so now here we are. All right. Hello, everybody. Ryan just graduated from college. He's a business finance major and is working for an investment firm right now, getting the work experience necessary to go on and do graduate school work. And so I've broken him away from work to come and help me do this. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
As I said, Ryan's the same age as New Skin, so if New Skin were a boy, this is what it would look like. That's pretty good. What'd you do last night?
Some of you took us out to find some durian.
Yes, we were invited to come and enjoy a special treat.
It was very creamy. Thank you.
Creamy. That's creamy. Yeah. What's your favorite kind?
Red prawn.
Red prawn is probably the best. I found it to be the most creamy and special.
Tonight we need to go find some chicken rice. And what else? Chili crab?
Chili crab. Yeah, chili crab. You know, I've been around durian now for a few years, and I finally figured out last night what's going on there. God and nature blessed us all with certain defenses. Some natural defenses, and when our body comes against things that the body thinks is going to kill it, then these defenses jump forward. And so durian actually is a very pleasant thing, but first you have to shut down all of those natural defenses. I was here a few years ago with Truman and Blake, and the office felt that we should enjoy that treat then too.
Oh.
When Blake put some of it in his mouth, perspiration just jumped out of his forehead. He thought he was going to die. Truman was a man. He stood up to it. It was fine, but we suffered. The next day, or later that day, I think, we had a magazine interview with some journalists. And the journalists had heard this story about us being tortured with durian. Were teasing us about it. And Blake said, you know, a durian is the only fruit that I'm aware of that looks like it's going to hurt you. And it smells like it's going to hurt you. And then when you eat it, it actually hurts you. Well, we're going to sing this song to you now, but let me tell you that it's an audience participation song, so you need to play along. We're going to get to a place at the end of the song where you'll need to join in with us, if you will.